can I bring my cheese? Yeah, I can bring my. All right.
They went for a 2 point. Oh, they went for no. They went for yeah, they went for a 2 point.
What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Titan79 with you one more time. It is Saturday night, and you know what that means. Saturday night is when it is conspiracy theories. So tonight, guys, we have the full panel with us tonight. It's about time that we got everybody here. I'm going to start from the top, from the bottom. If you don't know these people, then you will find them out tonight. From the top, we got It's Uncle Art, everybody's uncle. On next is Mr. Pocket Console, one half of the TP podcast. And then, as always, we got Big Daddy Spoon down at the bottom. Because he likes it on the bottom. Mr. TDN TV. What's going on, fellas?
Nothing much. Chilling.
Just chilling. What's up, Alcoy? How you doing?
Go Patriots!
All right, so today is going to be something else. Today's conspiracy theory. We are talking about Revelations. For those of you that don't know what Revelations is the last book of the New Testament in the King James Version of the Bible. That's what we're talking about. The question tonight is this. Is it truly what it says, and this is what we're all going to deal with when the end times come, or is it a reflection of what was going on in that time, you know? So, I guess, you know, everybody on this panel has their own beliefs. Yeah. Or non-beliefs. Yeah, I got you. And so, you know, my question is this. I'm going to go ahead and pose this question. This is how we're going to open it up. Let's see, streaming live, Discord, bam. We got everybody. Everybody should be good. Mic check 1-1. All right, boom.
Hey. Mic check. Can you hear us loud and clear?
So my question.
So my breaking the mic.
So my question is this: on tonight's subject,
yes,
it's not about what we're going to talk about. It's what up until tonight. What have you been taught about Revelations and the end of times and things like that? We'll start the show out like that. So,
okay.
Thank you very much, Pocket Console, for that host. Look what I can do.
Welcome, guys.
So we'll start with Uncle Art. She thinks my tractor's sexy. All right, so Uncle Art, when you were growing up, was your family religious? Did y'all go to church? You know, did y'all talk about Revelations, things like that?
As a Christian Baptist, my family was very, very religious. But growing up in the circumstances I did, kind of put me off from it. Mm-hmm. So I don't really have a lot. Like, I didn't really study it as much as the family wanted me to, or you could say I should have.
But you grew up going to church. You heard about it. You know, if the parents studied it, you know, things. Revelations, a lot of people don't talk about it because it is so controversial. Even in the Christian community, it's very controversial. So, but you understand what it's about, correct?
I got a basic understanding of it. You know, I'm here as a panel member, but also as a student to try to learn the thing or two and see where it fits in my current beliefs.
Okay. All right, Mr. Pocket Console, could you answer that question, sir?
Being of the Spanish nationality.
Hell yeah, them Spanish people, they love them some God, boy, and they all got that picture of the woman with Jesus. Just all know what I'm talking about. Everybody, y'all know what the hell I'm talking about, you know.
What they
all
get
laid
to
up.
they get to cutting off heads and lighting candles and
Yeah.
what?
So like
Chicken sacrifice and shit.
it's always chicken sacrifice. It's always been around, since very young. Like, and it's also a way that how Spanish parents, some Spanish parents scold their kids. What you would call like oh Papa Dio this, Papa Dio that, God this, God that, like it's always. I remember getting reprimanded a couple of times. I think as a kid, when you're a young kid and you're forced, to like, if you're I don't want to say forced, but like they throw something at you all the time. You either pick it up and you go with it, or you put it on the back burner and it kind of like you ignore it on purpose because it's like I don't want to deal with this. And so
Yeah.
like you're almost like a rebellious type stage. So I was kind of towards the rebellious stage. I do know a lot. I mean, just for my taste of knowledge, I did dabble here and there, with what we call religion and revelation stuff like that, but not enough to where I'm an expert with. I kind of feel the same way as art as kind of here as a student. And exactly to see where it fits, and as well, like he said, in my beliefs. So
Okay.
that's where I'm at with that.
Cool. All right, Mr. TDN TV.
And I'm probably the most controversial of all y'all sons of bitches. I actually went to school for theology uh, at Liberty University. Those of y'all that don't know, it's a very great college. But I grew up in staunch Pentecostal, shouting, dancing, in some very, very out there snake handling. Yeah. Bruh, my father-in-law does a tomahawk dance like it's about to rain outside, bruh. But, we were brought up that Revelation, and taught that Revelation was prophecies towards what the end times would be like. This is what, the thought of the Christian religion was. If we didn't get things right, this is what the end was going to come to, and we had to make sure that we were right, or we were going to hell.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things.
All right. Well, myself, I was grown up in a Southern Baptist church. Hellfire, brimstone, spit, handkerchiefs running up down the aisle. Let's go. Okay. And as I got older, I think I was already married by then. My father decided he wanted to be a preacher. So he really enjoys the conversations that I have with him. Not. For those of you that don't know, apparently, I guess, in order to get a job as a preacher nowadays, you do have to have a college degree. It's just not, I got the call and let's do this. So before we get into this, guys, I do want to let everybody know we do have the studio building fund. Just like with any church, we got to have a building fund. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Here's the link.
Passing around the collection plate now.
Yes, we're going to pass around the collection plate. If you guys like the content, please make sure to go ahead. All proceeds will be going to the studio building fund to give you guys better content and everything like that. So I do appreciate it. So anyway.
Hey, Pocket, I'm going to pass it down to you, bro.
All right, so basically, we're gonna do a quick rundown of what Revelations is. Revelation. Oh, wait a minute, I got mine. Hold on. Thank you. So Revelations is basically it's the last book that was voted. We've already went over this in the Council of Nicaea. It was the last one that was voted into the King James Version of the Bible. And basically, this is supposedly a vision that was given to us by John the Divine, that was written, and he got a vision from God, and it told him, this is what's going to happen, and this is, everything like that. So, what I want to discuss tonight is, as Christians, we are told this is the word, the light, this is what's going to happen. You're going to walk outside, there's going to be horns and staircases and people busting up out the ground and, dragons and monsters, all the kind of shit. So, the question is this, are they using symbolism? Is it real? Those are the questions that we want to ask tonight. I know this is a controversial topic, but, you guys that are watching us, we have several of you that's watching us right now. Please, have an open mind, be respectful. You're more than welcome to make comments. We will talk about it. We're probably going to argue. I don't know if we're going to be able to have the type of argument that TDN and Pocket had last time, but hey, it's all good. Mm-hmm. So Revelations was once again, it was written by John the Divine, and a lot of conspiracies. A lot of people say that what is the difference between Revelations and the Book of Enoch? I mean, what's really the difference? I mean, you got Enoch who went down and saw, hell and the different levels of hell, and is it just the difference because one says, "Hey, this is what hell is about," and this one says, "This is hell's coming to earth"?
I am over here going through it in the back of my mind, trying to make some sense of it. With the Book of Enoch speaking about, like you just said, showing us what hell would be like if we was to go there, and then hell coming to earth. Hell coming to earth is it's just a scary thought of the one place you don't want to go and not being able to get away from it, because instead of you going there, it's going to come to you.
I think as a fearing aspect, I would fear the fact that hell is coming to earth, because think of it this way: if you fear it the other way around, then there really is nothing to fear, because you kind of have a certainty of it. Like unless I get murdered, die of an illness, or die of old age, I don't have nothing to worry about until then. Even though you could die at any moment, just by natural cause, anything. Hell, plane could crash right into my house right now, right? But it's not that big of a deal, I would say. But the fact that it's coming to Earth, that's something different. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like if there was a war happening and you knew that war is coming. Hey, those ships they're on their way. You understand? Like, that's a different type of scenario.
Just step away and handle what you got to handle, brother. Just step away real quick. Cut your if you cut your camera off, it's gonna mess everybody else up. So
mute your mic, throw your t-shirt over it. You got a t-shirt big enough.
Yeah. So we were gonna do the double cams tonight, but I'm having issues with my mics. So yeah, just if you got to step away real quick, go ahead and step away, do what you got to do. And we got it, homie. Just leave your camera on. Tell Blondie to come over here or something. Whatever you got to do. So
it's not bad. I'll send you a text about it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have to, mute your mic, bro.
So hey, how about this? You guys go ahead and talk real quick. What I want you guys to talk about, or here's a question. Okay, and I hate this because I got a lot that I can deal with. Okay, the symbolism, and of the different aspects. Why did they use Revelations and not Enoch? And then I'll be right back.
And when you say symbolism, before I let you go,
let's not go into symbolism, because I got a lot of information I want to use about the symbolism aspect. So what's up, Cool Aries? How you doing?
Yeah, because you start getting into the mark of the beast. the one thing.
Yeah, because I'm gonna blow up the whole Mark of the Beast situation.
The one thing that goes with this is even one thing for me, might I say, is even though I may not believe in it or per se or have a lot of knowledge in it, I know that other people believe in it.
All right? Well, then how about this? Let's have a history lesson real quick about what was going on during this time. Okay, because you're going to hear a lot about this. TDN, I'll be right over. I'll handle the situation. All right, so it'll be easier for me to cut my camera off. Okay, y'all guys just talk about TDN. You can help with the history because I know you're going to know a lot of it. I'll be right there.
All right. Yeah, man.
I guess we about to start talking about Nintendo.
No, you said Nintendo.
This right here, Titans baby. This one particular topic, he got to kind of quarterback this thing. And I don't know where he want to take it, and I don't want to get a conversation going without him. And he'll miss something because I know this is something he gets really excited over. K1 exactly. Robots, my friend. What's going on?
What up, man? What's up, Cool Aries? What's going on, man? We see you, brother. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate all you guys coming to the show. Thank you guys for stopping in here.
We appreciate everything that's going on. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you guys stopping by and joining us on this new season, episode 3 of Conspiracy Theories. Now, right now we're tackling the Revelations. Tyne had to step away to take care of something real quick, so right now we're just pretty much in standby mode until he gets back, because he's pretty much the driver on this adventure. We're just his passengers.
Yes, we are just workers. What they call them, control tower. You know what I'm saying? Where as he's flying this plane, we're just helping the passengers get seated and all of that. So, Pocket, how you been today, bro?
Oh, I've been great, man. Everything has been good. Me, the whole Titan podcast at 8:00, and I feel the shows have been good. This week we did horror movies and whatchamacallit, Titan kind of held the reins on that one. Which next week we unveiled on Friday that we're going to be doing talking about the video game consoles. So
all right, I'm back.
That's definitely going to be my show next week.
Video game console. Y'all gonna have to let me in somewhere on those podcasts of the video games, because
did Revelations turn into video games?
No. We were just in here, just kicking it with each other, just having just basic pleasantries, just because this is your baby right here, this Revelations thing.
All right, so that's fine. Let's get into it.
No, we're here to hear what you say. Hit our opinions on it. I think to be honest, this is exactly what we wanted on today's show. 2 people that know about it and 2 people that don't, because that'll be the best way. I feel like they're experiencing exactly what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is believed out there versus what is true. Yeah. So I think this is the best way that this could have went down. Us knowing nothing about this.
All right, so let's talk about. But we'll go ahead. We'll jump on Wikipedia real quick, okay? So let me tell you guys a little bit of history. During the time that is supposed, this is from what theologians and historians can tell. John the Divine wrote this in the 3rd century during the reign of the Emperor Nero of Rome. Now, anybody that knows anything about Roman history can tell you that Nero was one of the most ruthless, deadliest, just asshole of all emperors. Not that all of them was great, but he was probably the worst. He was doing, he was going out and killing all the Christians. He was doing everything like that. So, he reigned from, not the 3rd century, excuse me. It was Roman Empire from 54 AD to 68 AD. So, Nero focused much of his attention on trade, enhancing the cultural life of the empire, ordering theaters built, and promoting athletic games. But according to the historian Tacitus, he was viewed by the Roman people as a compulsive and corrupt. That he was as compulsive and corrupt. In 64 AD, most of Rome was destroyed by the Great Fire of Rome. Later claims that the Romans believed Nero himself had started the fire in order to clear land for his planned complex. There was a big rise up. A lot of people got mad. Long story short, Nero decided he was too chicken shit to commit suicide, so he actually had one of his boy helpers, you know what I mean, basically help him commit suicide by shoving a sword, in his face like this down through his throat, which is how, typical of the time. Okay? So, that is where a lot of the symbolism, and this is where my standpoint is going to be today. This is where a lot of the symbolism from Revelations is coming. Okay? So, let's talk about what exactly was she called. Let's talk about
TDN, you got to jump in here, bro. As one, I know
I
you
mean,
got to just dive in.
Because we're gonna get on the 7 seals. We're gonna get on the symbolism of the number 7. But there's the 7 trumpets. What was her name? The whore of somebody.
Ooh.
What was her name?
You gotta love all of that early Roman Empire stuff. Everything was the whole the witch.
Well, what's funny is there's a lot of discrepancies between the books and between the depiction of Revelation compared to non-canonical books.
Yeah.
And that, believe it or not, the word, if I'm not mistaken, I pulled it up, is the word rapture. Outright is nowhere found in the Christian biblical sense in the English Christian Bible. If you look at the traditional Bible, it's not even, it doesn't exist at all.
Yeah.
I mean, during the time when all this was going on, they were saying that they were in the Middle East, which technically I guess Asia Minor is still considered the Middle East.
Yeah.
But a lot of the places where the Romans were sending their captives was a penal colony in Turkey, which is
tell Blondie to shut up.
Ways. But Daddy said, "Shut up." This boom mic is super sensitive. Sorry.
Well, that's all right. Anyway, one of I can't find what the name of it was. Probably 15 minutes from now, I'll be able to tell you. But anyway, she was in one of the things that they talk about in Revelations. We're talking about symbolism now. We went through the history of Rome and during that time and everything like that. It's the whore of somebody is the name that they gave her.
Her name is
Whore of Babylon. The whore of Babylon. Okay. Because you've got the whore of Babylon and you've got the beast, which are the two major things in Revelations. The whore of Babylon. If you look at history, And here's the question I'm going to pose here. The Whore of Babylon, I mean, you know, if you know history, you know all the crazy stuff that they were doing in Rome. I mean, wild orgies and you know all this crazy stuff. And we've already talked about Constantine and switching. Everybody was pagans, and they was switching everybody over to Christianity instead of a civil war and different things like that. So my question to you is this: if you know the whore of Babylon, or Babylon the Great, is a female figure and also place of evil mentioned in the Book of Revelations in the Bible. Her full title was the Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and abominations of the earth. Okay, so what if John the Divine was talking about, because in the Bible it tells you not to fornicate, not to commit adultery, you know, all these things about being faithful to your spouse and all these other things. And you've got Rome, who was just running wild with all these wild orgies, and they were having, you know, same-sex affairs and, you know, everything like that.
Sexual deviance.
Yeah.
A lot of sexual deviance.
So my question that I'm posing, the question that I'm posing to you is this. You know, given this name of the Whore of Babylon, which, you know, people know the story of Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah and things like that, could the author, not Arthur, be using symbolism with the Christian faith, you know, compared to the way the society was in the Roman times?
Nuts.
I mean,
Get in there, man.
you have to break it down for what it is. I mean, it was, yes, you know, the Whore of Babylon, also known as Babylon the Great, was the female figure that was used as a place of evil in Revelations in the Bible. Um, and actually, if you go for the full title, her name was Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and abominations of the earth.
Yeah.
And that came from the Greek translation, which is the original, not this watered down, you know, 14th century British or English bullshit that we have now. But you really have to look at that time, the Roman Empire. They didn't even believe that Christianity was actually separated from the Jewish culture.
Yeah, I mean, you know, once
As
again,
far as
this
they
was all
saw it, it
before.
was
This was all before the Council of Nicaea. This was all before Constantine. This was all before Christianity was considered the religion of the Romans. You know, they were still. You know, what people don't understand is everyone in that time was pagan. They all had separate gods. You know, we went over this with the Christmas conspiracy, you know, talking about, you know, Saturnalia, you know, with the winter solstice and things like that. What's up, Robbie? How you doing? You know, so, you know, Christianity was, you know, okay, you know, you're gonna have a man come down from heaven. He's gonna free all the Jews. He's going to, you know, eradicate everybody and raise everybody up greater than, you know, he's greater than everybody. And at that time, you know, nobody was greater than the Roman Caesars, the Roman empires. And that's how they looked at it.
Like gods. The Roman emperors were worshipped as gods. It wasn't even the fact that they were considered. Yeah,
so it's really no different than the
god.
Egyptians, because their kings were considered gods.
Yeah, and they were given the title as a god of the land. But you know, what's funny about that though is a Caesar could not become a Caesar without the blessing of
What's up, Curly?
the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly how they got their title as Caesar. They had to be blessed by the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholics. The Pope had to give the blessing for them to get it. And at that time, I mean, even Catholicism, as we know it, was not even as organized as it is today. For the fact to be giving that out, because a lot of the heretics that we read about in the Bible were Catholic priests. That they were
Well,
the
yeah,
ones.
but once again, this is all happening in 64 A.D.
Hmm.
So there really wasn't a Catholic Church.
And there was
Christianity was still in its infantry. I mean, a lot of people still believe in the Gnostic beliefs.
yeah,
in this.
a lot of that was Judaism.
Well,
Well,
in
that all was pretty
actually
much Judaism.
in that time,
Hold on
the
one
slave.
second. So hold on, because we got a couple questions over here on Mob Crush. Every Saturday night we do a thing called Conspiracy Theories, guys. So yes, it's kind of like a podcast aspect. So basically, this week's theme is the Book of Revelations. So you're more than welcome to stay with us and have an open discussion with an open mind, or not. You can go watch some gaming and stay in your mom's basement. But anyway, um, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. So anyway, go ahead.
I was just touching on the fact that it wasn't a completely organized um, religion at the time, but the Caesars were still there were bishops. It, that's what it was. The Roman Catholic Church at the time was the largest rated Christian organization. Although we didn't see it in churches like they do now. More of what they did then is you would have your Caesar, you would have your governors, and they would send a bishop or cardinal to go live at pretty much their mansion, castle, whatever you want to call it at the time. And they would send message boys back
So,
and forth.
so Titans, the Book of Revelations, was that one of the books Constantine chose at the
Yes.
Council of Nicaea?
Yes.
Hmm.
Is there's other versions of this Book of Revelations though. This one was just about, well, just written by some Jewish dude named John.
But see, they don't
So
even. That's the pen name that he used, John the Divine.
Yeah.
you know. But once again, like there's some type of word for it that writers use today, where they use like a ghost name. A lot
pen
of
name.
in the early times, a lot of women would use male names. So of course, because they didn't want to face prosecution, they would use other names. There is there is
My
let me
boy
go back
George
here.
Orwell. My boy George Orwell used the ghost name, and the life of me, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't remember it now.
So, the author's name himself in the text as John, but his precise identity remains a point of academic debate. Second century Christian writers such as Justin Marlier, and I'm sorry, guys, that my accent will cause me not to pronounce these correctly, but Irenaeus and Mileto, the bishop of Sardis, and Clement of Alexandria, and the author of Martyrian Fragment Identity, John the Apostle, is the John of Revelation. So they're saying that John the Apostle and John the
Baptist, the one that they
Divine
refer to as John the Baptist,
are the
are
same.
person.
Yeah.
And in actuality, at the time when they said that he was arrested and sent and exiled,
Yeah.
he was actually like in his 90s.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Jello is gonna join us on voice.
Okay.
Um, he was late. He had some stuff to take care of first.
Okay. All right.
Um,
So we talked about the Whore of Babylon, and the possible symbolism of, it goes against everything that the Christian beliefs
Okay,
believe
okay,
in.
quick question.
Okay.
Who is this whore of Babylon? Is chick that got with Jesus?
No,
No.
the whore of Babylon is in Revelations that the whore of Babylon will come down with the beast,
So
the
the horror of
seven-headed
Oh, so,
beast.
she, so she's Bloody Mary going to the bathroom, or Babylon?
She's more like if you use she's more like envy as like she would just turn men to her
Okay.
will to do like everything deviant, like
Let me
as
pull up this site that I had just a second ago,
The
and
horror of
it breaks it
Babylon.
down. Yeah.
She sounds
it's
sexy as shit.
it's
The whore is associated with the Antichrist and the beast of Revelation by connection with an equally evil kingdom. The word whore can be also be translated metaphorically as idolatress. Like a
idolatrous.
female idol. The whore's apocalyptic downfall is prophesied to take place in the hands of the image of the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. There is much speculation within Christian eschatology
Es-
you got
eschatology.
it.
on what the whore and the beast symbolize, as well as the possible implications of contemporary interpretations. And that's where we're going now, because, of course, we're talking about the whore of Babylon, and, of course, the next is going to be the beasts themselves, because, I was just watching something on the History Channel about 2 weeks ago to where, they've went back and they've retranslated a lot of this stuff, and
Okay.
they are now saying that the initial interpretation and with the new findings that it kind of contradicts what we were taught as Christians. And that's where a lot of the symbolism coming in. For those of you that know anything about history and know about anything, a lot of authors used symbolism to talk about things within society. They would use symbolism to discuss overtaking the government, or they would use symbolism of what's going to happen, and basically you in a lot of aspects also use scare tactics in order to get people to believe what they believe. That's been tried and true and all throughout history. So, when you start telling people that there's this beast with 7 heads and 10 horns and it's going to devour, everybody, and that's going to scare a lot of damn people. Just like what's the real difference between, hey, you're a Christian now or you die? Okay, I'm a Christian. I mean, that's what they were doing back then. So, Rich Homie Swan, hey, you can be serious or you can get out, brother. It's all about you. Yeah, you too, Pete. Can somebody moderate on
Pete, get him out. Pete, Pete,
on
get
Twitch?
here. Yeah, I'm over there.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
I mean, you kind of have to look at the way, um, you know, depending on where you're located, the church that you grew up in, a lot of those things.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just going to. Y'all gonna have to ban me next.
Oh my God.
Oh, Trump.
You gonna do it the whole podcast like that? There you go. Damn, I need me one of those. All right.
That's cool.
I lost train of thought.
So the Bible was huge. It was really big, awesome. We before we got together for Book of Revelations, we built the wall. It was such a huge wall. It was awesome, Wall.
Sir, you're gonna have to sit down. We're not taking any more questions from you because you're
Fake news. Fake news.
You're fake,
Tired of the
you're
fake news.
Don't do that. Yeah.
I do want to get. I can't wait for y'all to get Beast though, because that Google Amazon store thing is. I really can't. I really can't wait to dive.
All right, well then let's go ahead. Let's get into the seven-headed beast. Okay.
Yeah.
He's all like
So-
monster.
So in the book of Revelations, it says that there's the mark of the beast. The mark is 666, and that a beast will come down with 7 heads and 10 horns and devour the evil and and basically, that's where the fight between the good and evil is going to happen. So I'm going to screw this name up. 1GG5000, what's up, buddy? How you doing? So, in some of the things that I have read, there's been a new translation. So,
I got it. You ain't got to speak on it. I got.
All right.
I'm over there. That's
So-
my channel.
So the new translation is that it is not. You should be TDN. You're showing up as one.
It means I didn't have moderator options for a minute.
Okay. The new translation for 666 through the Greek symbols and everything like that. Guess what it translates to?
5.
Nero.
Nero. The Roman Empire dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Roman Caesar.
So here's the belief. Here's the thought process. Here's the conspiracy here. Okay. So theologists and historians are using the symbolism that was a custom in that time period. Okay? And because for those of you that don't know, like I said, Nero committed suicide. He was so evil. He prosecuted so many hundreds of thousands of Christians. He was so evil that he made people believe that he would come back from the dead. Now, here's the reason why I'm saying that the symbolism between the mark of the beast, the 666, and the 7-headed beast can be used as symbolism. You had 7 churches of Asia, 7 heads. The main head had a scar, and it says in the book, it has a scar on its face, a healed scar like a fresh wound. History tells us that Nero was stabbed from an upward position through the face into the throat. So, and the 10 horns, I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the 10 horns are the 10 areas of the Roman Empire. So historians are now saying, and conspiracy theorists, which we've already discussed, is a term to make us like we're stupid, like we're idiots. But we're actually more open-minded than everybody else. I may be having an open mind. You can call me a conspiracy theorist, but you're a damn zombie if you believe what these fake-ass news stations are telling you and everything like that. So I'd rather be a conspiracy theorist than a zombie or a sheep. So
Well said.
So my thing is this. So if you sit and you break it down and say, okay, how's the symbolism here? They were so afraid of Nero and the prosecution of Christians that they believed that this man would come back after his death and devour all of them. So, does it not seem weird that the new translation for 666 translates to Nero? You have 7 heads with the 7 churches of Asia, 10 horns, which once again I'll have to double check my notes here. I believe that there was 10 areas of the Roman Empire, and then the main head had the scar on the face, and it says in the Bible that it looks newly healed. Open your mind. Open your eyes, guys. Can you not sit and tell me that doesn't seem kind of crazy?
Absolutely fantastic.
And the crowd goes quiet.
Absolutely fantastic. Like this one is for you gentlemen.
Well, you being the open mind as you are, with this new information, what do you think? Do you think that, hey, this is actually logical? It's possible. Yes, I know enough about the history, maybe not necessarily about this subject, but understanding the symbolism and the foretelling of stories using symbolism during this time period and even today.
Well, yeah. Well, with that said that way, then yeah, that can new information come out, new translations to make it fit better.
I mean, we can go down a rabbit hole and we can talk about Nostradamus. And they say, oh, well, he's told the future and, all these things have come true. Well, technically, so did John Teeter, which says that he came from the year 2037.
I mean, you can say that they foretold the future, but they also left their work behind for people to follow. So,
it's just... I think Pocket... Go ahead.
I can say I believe Titans across the street in 10 years, and then you wait every day for 10 years to cross the street.
Yeah.
Or cross the street every day for 10 years, and then 10 years come and, my story came true.
Well, I think Pocket summed it up the best when we was having the argument a couple weeks ago when we were coming up with the subject of what this season was going to bring us. What's up, Chris? And we started talking about, and even then we had a heated discussion concerning Sandy Hook. Pocket is very, very passionate about the Sandy Hook conspiracy and everything that goes on with that. And he himself said this, and I've taken it to heart, and I think this goes along with what Art was saying, is saying, if you dig hard enough, if you dig deep enough, you're going to find the relevancy. So, is it possible that just like Nostradamus, just like, all these other things, if you dig deep enough, you're going to find, it's like the number 23. They say, oh, well, it's 23. Or you say, well, every time I look at the clock, it's 11:11.
Or you notice your car after you buy it all the time now.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So having that ability to do that, that doesn't make you a fortune teller. That doesn't, now when, and we'll go down this, and this is a deep ass rabbit hole. If you want to talk about, really knowing stuff that you're not supposed to know, then, and I brought this up just a few moments ago, we can talk about John Teeter, which supposedly was a person that came back from the future. And went from 2037 all the way down to 1977. And then, oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Oh, my goodness. I didn't see the entire name. I'm so sick of these damn trolls.
You got to love the trolls, man. We love them. We love them.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I got it.
All right.
I got it.
So...
I don't have it. Where's that?
He's on Twitch.
Yeah,
I don't understand, man.
I mean, you just gotta ignore them. If you want, you can take the chat off of the screen.
So no, it's all good. We'll get it.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to it's gonna pop up.
So let me go ahead and do that. Is that it right there? No, that is not it.
but trolls aside, we love the trolls. Stop in here, and
Our
you
crew
know,
loves the trolls,
I love me a
inside and
troll.
out.
Honestly, I love me a troll.
He
Uh,
loves them inside and out.
mm-hmm, And we talking about the Roman Empire. You know what they like to do to a boy's
Yeah.
butt. Uh-huh.
So, what's up,
Or
Killer? How you
mouth.
doing?
Do tell.
Especially,
Do
especially,
tell.
especially a boy's mouth. The Catholic Church. What?
Well, I mean,
They be putting the body of Christ on their dick and like, you must receive thy confession.
This is that holy
Communion.
water. You gotta
This is
work
thy
for it.
communion. Let me stop. Let me stop.
You gotta work for the holy juice. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trolling now. I'm trolling.
so, so, I done forgot where I was at. We was talking about Nostradamus. We was talking about John Teeter, who came back supposedly from the year 2037, back to 1977 because they needed something from the very first IBM computer that would work with their computer systems in the year 2037, and stated that the computer system could do certain things, and I don't know exactly what it could do. It had some type of a language or whatever. And IBM came out and said about 5 years later that there was only 7 people on this earth that knew that computer could do that back in the 70s. So there was no way that this man should have known that computer had that glitch unless he was from the future. So you can sit here and say, well, okay, Nostradamus, just like John the Divine or anything like that, they're telling the future, they're doing this, they're doing that, but Pocket summed it up himself. If you dig hard enough, you can. But when you got people like John Teeter who is saying, hey, I came from the future, this is shit that I'm being told, and there's only supposedly 7 people in the world that even knows that shit went down like that, what's the difference? I mean, is there a difference?
Yeah, it's a big difference. Somebody coming back and then somebody that we know, because the dude John Teeter, I don't know if he has he don't whereas everybody else has a history of what they've done before, or that real major moment that we may be talking about now.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. When it's just seemingly nobody from nowhere knows something he shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, he literally came out of nowhere. He spent 2 years doing forums and certain things like that, and then has disappeared, and no one has ever seen or heard from him since. I mean, that is a rabbit hole and a half.
I mean, the John Teeter dude could be. I mean,
yeah, but So Pocket, I think you were gone when all this went down. We were talking about the beast with the and the symbolism for the 7 churches of Asia, with the 10 territories of Rome, and the symbolism of Nero. How do you feel about that?
I didn't even know there were 7 churches in Asia. I barely know what one.
Revelation starts off with a better too.
Oh, there's not Pocket. There is Jello. So welcome, Jello Rojo, who is currently going through education to be some theology classes and different things like that. So Jello, I'm gonna pose the same question to you.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know. I don't know nothing about that.
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Okay, so and you're gonna have to stick the phone in your mouth or do something. You got to speak up. Okay. So one of the things that was brought up was the fear of Nero, the emperor of Rome, that died in, I believe it was 64 A.D. Okay, and they're saying that the that Revelations was written around between 200 and 300 A.D. Okay, because we know that the Council of Nicaea was in 325. So, they were so afraid of Nero that the new translation of the Greek symbolism of the 666 translates to Nero. That you have the seven-headed beast, which was the seven major churches of the Roman Empire of quote unquote Asia. The symbolism of the supposed whore of Babylon being everything that was against, the adultery, the fornication, everything like that. The 10 horns, which was the 10 territories. The scar on the main head of the beast, which was in the same that Revelations clearly says looks like a freshly healed wound in the same exact area in which Nero was committed suicide. Assisted suicide, if you want to call it like that, because he had one of his little boys do it for him. So my question to you with this would be more in the, and I know TDN has this background as well, along with Lady Nuts, who couldn't be here tonight. But I'm going to ask you this, and I'm going to put you on the hot seat since you came in late. What is your feelings on that information?
First off, before I start talking, can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better now.
Okay. I've never actually heard of the beast being looked at from that perspective.
Which is why we do this show.
Yeah. Every time that the beast has been brought up in the circles that I've spoken to about Revelations and stuff, the 7 heads represent 7 continents, and the 10 horns would represent 10 large military powers, almost like an alliance that's formed, and that's why it's 7 heads all on one beast.
7 military alliances? Well, wait a minute.
No.
10. 10. Excuse me, 10. Well, wouldn't that coordinate with the 10 territories of the Roman Empire?
Mm-hmm. It would at the time, yeah. And it's the same translation now. If the Roman Empire was the major head of state then it being translated today.
Yeah. Okay, but go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But thinking about the Nero side of things and how 666 translates to Nero, did you talk about what the 10 crowns might mean?
We haven't gotten to any of that stuff. We started talking about the Whore of Babylon, which led us into the beast, which is the 2 major figures. Yeah. And then we were going to, depending on how things go, how much people interact with us, things like that, is how deep in the rabbit hole we go.
Yeah. Well, I actually did a study back my freshman year in high school. It was about the beast. And there's this old, I guess it's a naming system that Hebrews used to use. And basically every letter of the alphabet had a number assigned to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is where if you guys haven't seen the video where they breaking down, the energy drink Monster is the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
My God.
But there's only one name in the world, and I don't know if you guys know this, but back in the day when there was royalty, the royalty would be known as king whatever of the country that they were the king of. Well, if you take King Charles or Prince Charles of Wales, and you use that Hebrew counting system on that name, you go letter by letter and take the values that are given to that letter, it actually adds up to the number 666, which has led a lot of theologians to believe that Prince Charles either is or related to the future Antichrist of Revelations.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it might be one of the kids. But I mean, there's no difference between, Nostradamus saying Himmler and we get Hitler out of that,
Yeah.
So, since we want to talk about symbolisms and things like that, let's talk about the number 7. Let's talk about the number 7. And I'm gonna give Art the chance here to look up real quick about the symbolism of the number 7. Why is the number 7 used so much within the Bible? And then it's used 43 or 53 times in Revelations alone. It's used 325 times throughout the Bible. And, you know, why is the number 7 so looked upon in this aspect? I'm going to give him just a second because I know he enjoys stuff like this. So,
This is my favorite question.
Go get some Jello.
Look, dang! You open that up. He's like, hell yeah!
Please, because when I hear the number 7, I'm thinking the sins and such.
Well, yeah. Well, we were just talking about the number 666 as the mark of the beast.
Okay.
The symbolism behind the number 6. I'm starting with 6. I'm going to get to 7. The symbolism with 6 is it's 1 below 7, and it represents falling short, just like in Romans it says, "For we all fall short of the glory of God." Well, 7 actually represents perfection, and 777 is a number that's used to represent God, whereas 666 would represent Satan. That's why at the beginning of Revelation, God writes to 7 churches. I can't remember. There's other like units of 7 that you'll see throughout the Bible, and that's the reason that it's
I had it.
Yeah.
Hold on. You
God
got 7
spent
seals,
6 days.
7 churches,
Yeah.
7 crowns, 7 heads.
God spent 6 days creating the heavens and earth, and rest
7th
on
day,
the 7th
yes.
the reason that the
7th
beast
day
actually has the 7 heads and the 7 crowns. The beast is obviously not perfect, but throughout the Bible,
He performed 7 miracles.
yeah, the Satan has always tried to mimic God throughout the Bible. So the beast having the 7 heads and the 7 crowns and performing seven different miracles is Satan's best performance that we see in the Bible of mimicking God. There's actually been different reports, like how some Christians will say they have visions and they appear in different places and they see things. I know a few years ago there were reports of people falling from the sky over a stadium with where a bunch of Christians were gathered, and they said that people were performing witchcraft and teleporting, and the prayers got in the way of it, and the people fell through the sky. I don't know if that was real or not, but I read an article on that. So that's all to just show that.
Well, and here, yeah, and so we can go into this. You know, different cultures believe different things. Okay, but the number 7 itself is is in a lot of cultures. Okay, you've got symbol of the totality of the created universe. 3 the sky plus 4 the earth. It explains the creation within which the man evolves. St. Augustine sees the 7 like the perfection of plenitude. He made it also the number of the creature, considering not the life of this one, but it's become the evolution. It is the number of the... we'll pass that because I can't pronounce that word. Symbol of eternal life for the Egyptians. It symbolizes a complete cycle. A dynamic perfection. For the Indians in the plain of the Pueblo Indians, the number 7 represents the cosmic coordinate of the man. In Africa and for Bombaras of Senegal, 7 is a symbol of the perfection and the unity. The 7 symbolizes the cross with its 6 directions plus the center. Infinite extends, moving toward the top, the bottom, the right, the left, forwards, and backwards. And even the dice itself, as we know as dice, symbolizes the 7. The dice itself, 1, having 6 faces. So we have established in not only this stream, but also in other streams, that symbolism is a huge thing, and being able to use that in different ways to explain yourself. You know, the Egyptians arguably have been around and had the, a lot of people can say the Egyptians is where it was all at. You had Africa and Egypt and and everything like that. So a lot of the things of their culture is going to pass through
The rest of the world.
the rest of the world. I mean, look at Cleopatra and
Aphrodite. Maybe.
no, Aphrodite was a Greek mythology. Cleopatra and I can't remember his name. They had a love affair because he was trying to take over Egypt. Um,
Oh, Punch it was. There wasn't Punch's part.
no, that was supposedly the guy that killed that gave the orders to kill Jesus. But anyway,
Cleopatra was banging.
so and she got wrapped up in a carpet and was taken out of the palace, and it was just a bunch of straight crazy stuff. It was a seizure of Rome. It's not Augustus. Alexander the Great. Was it Alexander the Great? Yeah, I think it was.
He was from Persia.
Alexander the Great.
Wait. Yeah, he wasn't from Rome.
Well, it was a Roman guy and Egyptian. I can't remember it. So
Mark Antony.
Mark Antony?
Mark Anthony, that's it.
Yeah.
Anthony, whatever. So why am I thinking?
Singer.
Yeah, not the one that was with J-Ho. I mean J-Lo. So, that symbolism and the different things. I mean, my question is this, and a lot of people have looked at this. Okay, you've got the Egyptians that draw a certain thing or believe a certain thing, and then you have the Mayans who are in Mexico that are doing the same stuff. Now, they didn't call each other on the cell phone, so how the hell are they doing the same stuff? They wasn't selling back and forth to each other, different things like that. So there has to be something to the story. If the Egyptians did not influence the rest of the area, then why is the number 7 so influential throughout that area? I mean, even now, look at all the things that even now in the 21st century that we still use that was originally Egyptian.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it, you could basically break down like the 3 major religions: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. All 3 actually originated from the same line. If you look at he had 2 sons. He had a legitimate son in Jacob, and he had a son with one of his servants named Ishmael. And you could read the story in the Bible. Ishmael is mentioned in the Bible. Well, Christians always use the term the God of Jacob. We serve the God of Jacob. Well, Islam actually stemmed from Ishmael and his descendants. All of it ties back to the same descendants, and that's why the same numbers, the same things. There's a few traditions that is universal across all religions. So that's the explanation for that.
Yeah.
Just got really quiet.
Just we're all listening. We got 2 here that didn't study. So
I'm waiting for TDN to dive in here and bless us with
This is
a lot of that knowledge he has.
See?
and all it, you just have to like know this stuff right here. You gotta know this shit throughout the years. This is something you don't study, and then you gotta be into it.
yeah, I mean I understand that.
Yeah.
It sounds like both of y'all went and did y'all training in the mountains somewhere.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. Now we got video back.
I
Because
went to
Sorry.
a private school
Sorry,
for 15 years.
Revenge of the oysters and the flaming chips.
Finally had that bowel movement after last night. Gotta love it.
Yeah. That double cheeseburger kind of moved things right along, and
So I don't know how long you've been gone, brother, because I wasn't actually looking at the screen, but you was kind of like this the whole time. Where your thing had froze. So
yeah.
somebody catch him up to speed, and so that he can pipe in. You know, we're talking about the number 7. We're talking about the symbolisms and the different beliefs in different areas. You know, the Egyptians had the letter 7, or the number 7, excuse me.
So actually, you know that there's multiple times that the number 7 is used in Revelation,
53.
but there's 4 specific sets of times that it's used. Okay.
Okay.
One,
54, excuse me. It's used 735 times throughout the entire Bible.
In Revelations alone, though, the first set of 7s was referenced in books 1 through 3, and it was in reference to the 7 churches of Asia.
Yep.
Well, it's originally divided into 7 major divisions.
Yeah, that's the 7 churches of Asia.
Demonstrate. This is what I'm finding with the information that I'm finding. And matter of fact, I will post the link in here in the chat for you guys. Here we go. It says that the Bible as a whole was originally divided into 7 major divisions. They were number 1, the law; number 2, the prophets; number 3, the writings or Psalms; number 4, the Gospels and Acts; 5, the general as epistles epistles. 6, the epistles of Paul, and 7, the book of Revelation. The total number of originally inspired books was 49, or 7 times 7, demonstrating the absolute perfection of the Word of God. So,
But
Matthew, no, this is not a Christian show. What this actually is, we have a thing called conspiracy theories. It just happens that this week's topic is about the book of Revelations. That's just the topic that we're talking about. And the question that we have is with all of us coming from Christian backgrounds, but we all have open minds and we want to learn more. The question is it real? Is this what we're supposed to be looking for, or was there symbolism and with determining from the time that it was written? Hopefully that makes sense. Killer, I don't know who the beast is. If you do, let me know.
everything in faith-based religions is symbolism, though. You know, it's pretty much speaking on what they may not have seen, but what they could see or will see, or something.
Well,
Get
Well,
some.
I mean,
Get some.
it's
Yes and
it's
no.
one of those-
I'm going to
it's one of
agree
those
and
things you have
disagree.
to reference.
Get some. Get some.
Okay, look at Buddhism. Buddha straight up told you. He showed you. He did everything. Look at
See, I think
look
Buddha,
at what's the
Buddha
Indian one with the blue dude?
Hindu.
I mean, he was on Hindu. He was on Earth. They was fighting up in the sky in fiery damn. It's all written documentation.
wasn't I could have swore like the Buddhism is the one that's more a human base, where it's mystic.
Well, that's what the Gnostics were. The Gnostics believed that the deeper that you studied, the deeper that you meditated, the deeper that the goodness and the light, the quote unquote light of God, that what we now know as Christianity was saying, that you would need to go and follow this man and that's doing miracles, and you're going to go to, and they've got this metropolitan area up in the clouds where everybody gets a mansion, and there's no more EBT. That I was hoping somebody'd laugh at that joke. That you can find that spiritual feeling in yourself. Look at your and you can break that down since I've got the big background in martial arts. Look at the meditation levels and different things when it comes to martial arts. Being one with themselves, being under the people don't believe in ki or ki or chi or whatever you want to call it. Depending on what part of the country you're from. I know it's real. I've seen it. I've done it. Your body has this energy to it. Scientists have told us that we only use 10% of our brain.
Incorrect.
Okay.
We are using 100% of our brain. That's a myth now.
10%. We use 100% of our brain.
We're using 100% of our brain at all times. At all times, there is no 10%. That was just a myth. What? Okay, how do I say it? All right, just go ahead. Go ahead, Jello.
I think you're both right. We use like 100% of our brain when we're talking about like parts. We use every aspect of our brain, but Titan is talking about like brain capacity. Like our brains can do even more than what we're using them for.
Yes. That I was using symbolism. See that see what I did there? I've seen being able to fog up mirrors. Just using energy from my hand. I've seen hitting a brick from the top and only breaking the bottom brick. I've seen that. So you can't tell me that it's not true. You see what I'm saying? And the Gnostics believed, and a lot of your Buddhism and a lot of your Japanese, Chinese, Korean cultures believe that inner self, and that's where a lot of these cults get you. If they start telling you, you can believe in yourself and you can do this and you can do that, and I've been watching this new show from the fine ass actress that she is that used to play on King of Queens, where she left Scientology. And now she's going around and telling people all about Scientology and everything like that. And that's where, at the beginning of Scientology, it's kind of where you can do all this and all the good stuff. Look at Jehovah's Witnesses, okay? Because we ain't even got into the 144,000 yet. They believe that if they come knock on your door and hand you a pamphlet, that they gonna be at the right hand of God.
My aunt was a Jehovah's, and I just never quite understood their doctrine.
All I know is when they come knocking on my door, I answer it naked.
And once again, not only do we have to believe that the interpretation from back then was wrong, or the translation was wrong. It's just like Spanish, okay? It's just like Spanish. Proper Spanish is what they speak in Spain. If I go to Mexico and try to speak, the hell with Mexico, let me go down the street. Let me go down the street and try to speak proper Spanish. They're going to look at me like, what the fuck? So why, if we have so many differences between languages here with slang and different things like that, from 200 miles apart, You know, the difference in how we speak compared to North Carolina to New Jersey. That's a lot different. Would you agree?
Oh, of course.
So who's to say that when these things were written, that the translation, they're not getting some of the slang, they're not getting certain things, and it's translated in a long way. And then on top of that, it's been translated over and over and over again until 2017.
Yeah, I mean, well, we see evidence in that when you translate like Chinese into Chinese characters into English or vice versa, like you want to come up with the phrase, man who swiftly moves hand through water, but it gets translated over as is like man hand in water
A
move.
lo-
You know what I'm
and
saying?
a
Like
lot of times,
it comes out like that.
languages
So
don't compose their words the way we do. So when we want to
exactly.
say, like how Pocket said, like just could you grab me a cup of water? Like China, it would be phrased something ridiculous in
Completely
another
different.
language, like man jump over moon to fill glass.
But
Like
that, yeah, I
Yeah, and
mean,
then and then in that translation right there, it becomes, oh, this guy was able to fly. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the mistranslations between languages is where I believe a lot of these comes myths come from.
and with all living languages, we it's not a living language doesn't have definitions. The words aren't defined. They're not done. They're just explained.
yeah.
Most words still grow. They mean one thing one day, and they will mean, or they may mean something else another day. So
I
you
mean,
can't really.
look at the word run. It takes over what two pages in the dictionary. The word run. Like there's words that mean so many different things.
And
Um,
it's still learning and still growing and still meaning other things, just
peace.
depending
The
on the
word
living
peace
people.
means two different things. It's yeah. A lot of the stuff gets lost in translation. I agree with that.
Okay, here's something. Here's something. James Morgan Price was a Esoteric Gnostic who saw Revelation as a Western version of the Hindu theory of chakra. He began his work. The purpose of this book is to show that the apocalypse is a manual of spiritual development and not, as conventionally interpreted, a cryptic history or prophecy. So, Hindu theory of chakra. What is chakra?
Chakra,
Chakra is what Naruto uses to do his shadow clone jutsu.
true. That is key. That is
What?
the key in
Chakra is
your.
the same thing
Yeah,
as you.
baby.
That's your key in your chi that you were talking about. I believe there's the 7 points of chakra too. If I'm
Isn't
not
it eight?
starting from your nuts, going to the
I believe
space
it's
right
Ah,
wait.
above your
okay.
I
forehead.
thought it was eight.
Is it 8 points?
Yeah, because that's the final door that Rock Lee opens to go into that insane berserk mode.
The 8 gates?
Yeah, yeah.
Did y'all just make a reference to anime?
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, anime. Yeah,
Just like with all symbolism, they take
Qigong? Yeah.
is art imitating life is all.
So, according to the study of chakras, there are seven known chakras
Yeah, that's what I
that have
was.
been publicized, but there are actually 114 in the entire body.
But the 7 points I was talking
those are
about
like the
starting.
main points. Just like everybody says, like, oh yeah, we only have. Well, no, that's not true. Those are just the five major senses. We have a million other senses
I
as
actually
well.
did a little studying on chakra and meditation outside the
I have a chakra book somewhere. I have
and
a
with symbolism in it and everything, like the color red is for like passion and it's in your loins. And
yes, yeah, yeah.
I gotta.
Is it a blue book? Like it's like a blue like
Oh
or like
no!
made.
All of my studying I done on the internet. The internet is a fantastical place where
What's up,
anybody is
review?
able to talk.
He don't
anybody is
like
able to talk.
he don't like to cut down trees. He likes to use that shit that is mainly
It's
free other than paying for the internet.
it's a fantastical place, this internet, because you don't know what's real, and because of that you get everything, and you just got to dissect it and see what's worked and what doesn't. Like I wear a lot of red now as far as underclothes because yeah. Yeah, I have had some really good nights.
Oh my lord! And
Good reason.
you know, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, with my background in the martial arts and different things like that, with doing Iron Palm, which is a Chinese form, understanding the 7 elements and training the body, and different things like that. And you got wood, fire, earth, metal, water. Each of those elements can indicate and be symbolizes for everything. So I completely understand chakras, and everything. So my eyes itch bad. So
It's 'cause you need the moistures last night.
Oh, because of the good luck aspect of it. That's why you wear red.
So can't so are we done with the mark of the beast already? Did we even get into the mark of the beast?
well, the whole
Give me a
point I was
second. I
the
gotta
whole
let
okay.
piece go.
The whole point I was trying to make with the mark of the beast, the whole 666 was the new translation that scientists are now coming out with, saying that it is actually a symbolism for
Nero.
Nero, which, and if you break it down and you think about it, it makes sense.
And we do know that it's because of the movie Omen that the mark of the beast 666 is equated with the beast himself. I was just reading here something where the beast isn't really referred to as 666, but I don't know. I don't know much about it. Um, from my limited amount of study, I get, I hear a lot that the mark is the buying and selling or something
Biblically, the mark of the beast is a physical marking that'll be put on the body, and if you
Yeah,
do not have it, then
you won't be
any
able
of
to
the mark
eat,
will not be able to buy or
do
sell anything.
anything. You
within
basically
It's the
starve to death.
sign.
within
Yeah,
the beast and within the, I guess, economy that the beast creates or
Yes,
whatever, or the world he
yes.
well, under
creates.
under under the one world economy, because at that time it says that we're going to go under one world rule.
Oh my god!
It'll
So Obama is one of those goddamn. He's one of those beast heads with the crowns you was talking about.
they
So
will
Oh,
be
he
that's
was
talking
that's
talking
about
about
why
the
that's why a lot of people are so upset about bitcoins. That's why so many people are so upset about the NWO. Coming under one world bank, one currency,
I think I
because
think I think Bitcoin. I'm sorry to cut you. I think Bitcoin was on the opposite of, because they created a economy outside the one that we already had, and it was to be not a standalone, but run in conjunction with other economies.
well, some of the things that I have read is that everything would become Bitcoin.
Yeah.
See that, and I didn't read any of that. You have to send some of that to me.
well under the in under the proposed NWO, there would be one
One
currency,
currency. Yep. Yep.
and
Yep.
that one currency would be worldwide. And
which
anybody
is
who
which is where
opposed,
these theorists were saying that it would be Bitcoin because it's digital.
Uh huh.
yep, but
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that
all
movie. I like
consensus.
that movie that Justin Timberlake's in, where they got the
Time.
thing on their forearm, and it actually takes away years and days of your life.
Time.
Time. That was that's a great representation of
Of the mark of the beast.
yeah.
Oh, that was a good movie.
I never seen the movie, but I know the reference.
Oh crap! It's like a four-letter word. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's Time. The name of the movie is called Time.
No, it starts with like crud.
Yeah, he's right, Jello. It's called time, and it's literally when you're born. Once you reach a certain age,
I
they
think
say
it's
they give
I
you
think
X
it's
amount of
21, something like that.
they give you X amount of years to live, and it's up to you to survive off of buying and selling the time that you have.
Yeah, because he went in there and was playing poker and won like a million years or something. You know, and talking about the symbolism, I mean, you can even talk, you know, we can even get into the 7 seals. You know, supposedly there's a scroll that is sealed with 7 seals, and, you know, as each one of these are cracked, yeah, this is everything, you know. And I can run through these real quick. The first seal, a white horse appears. Second, and this is where Pocket should be because he's all about this game, Darksiders. First seal, a white horse appears, which crowned rider has a bow with which to conquer. The second seal is a red horse appears, whose rider is granted a great sword to take peace from the earth. The third seal is a black horse, whose rider has a pair of balances in his hand, where a voice then says, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." The fourth seal is a pale horse, whose rider is Death, and Hades follows him. Death is granted a fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, with hunger and death, and the beasts of the earth. The fifth seal is under the altar appeared the souls of martyrs of the word of God who cry out for vengeance. The sixth seal is an earthquake. Islands are moved. The people on earth retreat to caves and mountains. The survivors call upon the mountains and the rocks to fall on them. 7 is the 144,000 that we spoke about that the Jehovah's Witnesses believe. The 7 angels, they will be with the 7 angels. Of course, you got the 7 trumpets. So,
Can't forget the 7 bowls of wrath.
yeah. So, I mean, there's,
got
you
two
know,
of
going
them.
all back to 7 again. Excuse me. So, you know,
7 from the start of time has always been referenced though as the number of completion.
yeah.
You know, in the New Testament, it referenced that, you know, the world was built and established in 7 days. So on the 7th day, he rested.
Yeah, it was built the
every day.
6th, and he chilled on the 7th.
Yeah, hence the
Drinking
reason
Hennessy
why,
on a hammock.
hence the reason why most churches state that the work week is 6 days, and on the 7th day is used for rest. And that's a big thing in churches for people.
But once again, which day is the Sabbath? Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Well, I mean,
Because up until
is,
do what?
it depends on how you dictate the week running. If your week starts on Sunday, then the Sabbath is Saturday. If this week starts on Monday, then your Sabbath is Sunday.
You know, until the modernized calendar system, you know, to where, you know, and I say modernized meaning it's documented, it's put out there, it's printed, you know, different things like that. Those are the words I'm looking for. They're the ones that determined that Sunday was the first of the week. You know, it's no different than trying to.
The Bible was from your date of birth, from the day that you were born. You know, if you're going to buy that, then, you know, it's 7 sunrises because the sun set and rose, and that was.
Well, there has to be at least one there has to be one day, so that everybody within that religion can celebrate that one day, and in some religions, when they talk about not doing nothing, it's nothing. They don't do nothing. They don't even. They barely get out of bed.
There's a county up here in Jersey, Bergen County, that they don't open any of their stores on Sunday.
I mean, look at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday. You know.
That makes me mad too because it's only on Sundays when I really, really crave it that they're not open.
when you
I get Chick-fil-A a lot around here because Blondie loves Chick-fil-A. So
I don't eat Chick-fil-A that often.
Oh, I love me some Chick-fil-A. So Pocket, you missed it, brother. We was talking about the 4 horsemen. So we figured you could throw in some. I figured you could throw in some Darksiders 2 references in there. So
No, I have to say that the story of the Four Horsemen is one of the one of the few things that ugh, hey, one of the very few things that really intrigued me about uh I was saying the whole religious aspect of it. Four guys banding together to fucking kick ass. It's pretty cool. Um,
Hey, reference to the new season of Team Pocket. There are times when they actually reference the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse as the Riders of the Storm. Mm, you know, just saying.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, the
I
four horsemen there's been references to them
Yeah, but
across all
I think
types of
the biblical reference of the four horsemen isn't good guys though.
I know. I don't care if they're good or bad. I just think that's fucking cool.
The Four
You know what
Horsemen
I'm
have
saying? Like
never
these,
been referenced as being a good feature. They've always carried things like pestilence and death. Um, so I mean, they've always been referenced as a bad omen. If you see the riders in the sky coming, you know that death and pestilence is coming, and
yeah,
that's in there are several religions that actually talk about the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Technically, there's four brothers in Norse history that rode together that were referenced as the four brothers of death. Technically, alternative saying the four horsemen of the apocalypse, that wherever they went, death was sure to come. Um, so I
my
mean,
ex-wife was like that.
wherever she went, death was sure to come.
She's the writer of the apocalypse, his ex-wife. Wherever she goes, that's not funny.
But you also have to realize, so the Bible as we know it, if you were to take it literal, we're all already dead. If you took it literally word for word, we're all already dead. And the reason why there's so much division in the churches is because everybody wants to teach their own version of the doctrine, their own interpretation. There's no correct interpretation. There's no one right, no one wrong, because it
not
was
only
left
that, I
open for
mean,
interpretation.
there's so many people like this is there's so many. It's true what you're saying. That's and I think that's why religion isn't taken seriously um amongst a lot of people sometimes because of the fact. I mean, I don't take it serious because like I mean, there was this couple that I knew that used to live on what you call it back when I lived in Queens, and they were so freaking they were so they were so religious and so this and so that, and they had so much to say about people, but like like both committed adultery to be with each other. So it's like, so what? It's like you pick and choose what you want to believe, and it's okay, and
But
you're not gonna
see,
go to.
no. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If you really look into Jewish beliefs, and you really look, even you can look into the King James Bible. It tells you that masturbation is a sin.
Oh
It
my
is.
God! Look at that.
But I'll tell you right now, I guarantee you, and I'm not trying to get all up in your business and be funny like that, but ain't not a damn one of us sitting here that ain't never done it.
No,
E-
Mama said I go blind if I do it.
Yeah,
These glasses,
I had a
these
coworker
glasses
said
used to show.
masturbation was homosexual.
I haven't heard that one. I haven't heard
He,
that one.
Well,
yeah,
think about it. Think
Well,
about it.
I
You're
tell you
putting.
what, you tell your
Yeah.
coworker that next time I'm doing it, he needs to think about this. All right, I'm not thinking about him. I'm thinking about Megan Fox.
no,
There's nothing
the
homophobic
way
about
he
Megan
said it
Fox.
is the way Pocket was about to go with it. It don't matter who you thinking about. It is literally a man touching you.
Yeah, it's me touching
Yeah.
myself.
A man.
It's me touching
So
myself. You got
that
to
begs
clean
to
it.
okay. So
I
ready,
never thought of
ready,
it like
ready,
that. I'll make
ready.
sure to think of it like that next time Mrs. T don't want to give it up.
But check this out though. check this out. This also brings up the question: if masturbation is okay, right? Um,
Well,
if
the
you were
Bible
able
says that
to,
it's a sin.
okay,
If
the Bible says it's sin,
it
but we
says
all
that
know
if you
we
drop
don't.
your seed on the ground is worse than dropping your seed in a whore. I
What's you
mean,
gonna call it? Look at that.
I mean, you got to know during that time, like reproduction was like we need you slaves have to
but once
reproduce
again, I mean,
because we need you
we
slaves.
can sit here and say, oh, well, we can have a conversation about masturbation, and well, that's just the times, and that's this and that's that. So why can't we go back and say that the symbolism that's used in any of the stories, much less Revelations? I
That
mean,
is just
because
the time. It's all just the times. All right. It's
It's
all.
I mean,
never
it's like the
Because
age-old story, when
we're
Jesus turned
always
water into wine. That they was having a party. You know, they
it's always the one currency on this planet, and
you know what I'm saying.
everything is just to dictate that energy.
Yeah.
What those in power or those that control the masses want the masses to
That's what
do.
it is. Shit. Like it's what time said. Water into wine. They were having a party. You know what I'm saying? It's all within the time frame and who wrote it. Shit. If the Bible was created today, it wouldn't be and he changed water into wine. It would be and he changed Coke into crack. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
He turned water into Hennessy.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the times
And he
of
turned a book into a tablet.
right. And he took thy leaf and he said, "Roll it
yes,
and burn thy leaf." Like it's
yes.
all
Let there be LED. Uh,
shit. Let there be light. That motherfucker was talking about the Phillips bulb. You know what I'm saying? Like
Let there be LTE. The web on his phone on the go.
all right, so there's. I think Jello just gave up on us. He's just like hell with y'all.
I'm just looking for a good spot to interject.
Just got to
What?
dive in there, baby.
Hey, you've hung out with us long enough to know you better just throw yourself at us.
yeah,
You
throw
know.
that ass in a circle. Throw
Huh?
that ass in a circle.
We try to stay serious, but we try to. So just because this is the rough one, man. Talk about the mark of the beast and reading up on how to come, and then and he's gonna look like God and sound like God and be glorious, and you ain't gonna know you ain't gonna know that he's not God, and after he fucks shit up, then God is gonna come. That see that kind of rhetoric is just I just don't get it. It's just,
But
Yeah.
what if that we know already? What if what if we were all duped?
as far
Right? Think of it
as
this way: the devil's supposed to be evil, right? The devil's supposed to be evil. He's supposed to be wicked and deceitful, and he's on your side, but yeah, he has another plan going on.
Just like a
But
woman.
yeah,
can't live
but
with
yeah,
him, can't live with him.
Yeah.
That's
If
you know what
she
I'm
wouldn't have ate
saying?
that damn
there's
apple,
some.
we wouldn't be having this problem right now.
Think of it
What's
this
funny?
way:
What's funny
evil
about
people.
it
Wait, wait,
though
wait. Let me
is
finish this one. Let me finish this one. Let me finish this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you would call it? The devil's supposed to be deceitful, evil. Typically evil people. If you don't do what they do, I mean, if you don't do what they want, how they envisioned it, you really is no second chances. It's like oh fuck them, shoot them. You know what I'm saying? Or get rid of them. So isn't it ironic that God has killed more people in the Bible than the devil has? You know what I'm saying? Like, think of it this way: He destroyed Pompeii just because he didn't fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, God has Pompeii. What was that town that he also
Sodom and
destroyed?
Gomorrah. Not
It was
not
that one, right?
not necessarily Pompeii. I don't think Pompeii was mentioned, but Sodom and Gomorrah was mentioned. Yeah.
Okay, but if we're talking about
Pompeii
a
was a
dramatic
volcano.
event. Okay, Pompeii was a volcano. Okay, a dramatic event. They still link it to the almighty, what you call it,
But everybody back then did. I mean, if it rained, it was because some god told it to.
You know,
I mean,
Apollo used to carry the sun on his back every
yeah.
night.
So it's like, like if you look in, like the God that we're worshiping, Jesus, God, he's done more harm to human beings than the devil has. So it's like, do you think we're getting duped? Is the devil disguised as
So
God?
so
And
so
did
is
the
the
devil
question
trick
that
us
you're
to think
raising
this is a
is this
question?
50
Did
Shades
the
of
devil
God? And he's just a sadistic person that just puts us through all these to just
did
watch us
the
like a
devil
bunch of little
trade places with
ants.
God and we don't
Hey,
know? Yeah.
can I kind of make a can I want to make an interjection on this? Now, Pocket, you gonna hate me on
Okay.
this one. You gonna hate me on this one. You're saying, are we being duped, and could this be a complete opposite that we're blaming
Yeah.
this?
Did the
But
devil at some point
hold on.
become God and then tricked us to think that God is the
But
devil?
you're so now you're putting the same argument that me and Titan gave you about our government and Sandy Hook. You realize that
No,
you're giving us the same argument on a different topic, the
no, it's not the
same
same
argument, because you're
because.
like, oh God, or you were like, oh, the government can't won't go killing a bunch of kids off. But now you're
But I'm
saying,
not
oh, but
saying
what if
God.
God duped
No, no,
us and
no,
he's
no, no, no,
killed
no,
off
no,
more
no, no.
people than the devil has?
That's different. That's different.
No,
What
no, no, pocket, pocket.
it's
This
different
is this
because
is
what
how
I'm
you
asking you
pocket,
is this. I'm
pocket.
not.
This is
I
how you
didn't
link. This
ask
is how
you.
you link. This is how you
I
link
did
the
not
two.
ask you. Did
This
the
is how you
government?
link. This is how you link the two stories together, brother.
Okay.
Imagine the government has been hijacked by people that would kill kids. That the people
Obama.
in government
Okay, but
aren't
that's not
good people.
that's not yeah, but
Obama.
that's not this story being related to that. That's that story being related to what I'm saying now about religion. It's different. The arrow's pointing completely different. You
No,
understand?
it's the way he linked it. Like, could your
It's
question
not
was,
2A.
could the devil had switched places with God? Could the evil
Yeah.
had switched places with the good and tricked us to think that the good is the bad, or that the bad is something else, and just don't look at me?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know
same
what?
thing.
But
The devil
Hey,
exactly.
Pocket. The
The
reason
devil's
I
one and
tied the two of
only
those
true
together.
job. The like what Robbie said. You know what I'm saying? Like the devil's one and only true job is to handle souls. You know what I'm saying? Souls are coming in on the
Actually,
regular.
according to what, if you go by what biblical standards, both canon and non-canonical states, he is here
I'm
to
going not by biblical. I'm going
listen.
by
This is
majority. The
this is
majority
across
of
the
all
board.
religions think of what hell
He's
is.
here. Yes, Satan is here to steal, kill, and destroy. That's his three tasks. That's what he's here to do: steal, kill, and destroy. But here's the thing: is here's another
Now, who
conspiracy
said that?
inside of it.
Well, who said
Every
that though?
major every major religion that has anything to deal with Satan, the devil as we know it, always reference him as his three tasks are to steal, kill, and destroy. But here's the other thing: what if the whole story that as we know it is a lie? What if Satan? What if the serpent in the garden was actually Eve? I mean, think about it. Eve ate from the tree of good of the knowledge of good and evil, and nothing happened. It wasn't until she convinced Adam to do it that we fell into a life of sin.
Yeah, but that's just
So I
like
mean,
saying
you know,
that's like two kids. That's like saying two kids stick their hands in a cookie jar, and the girl sticks her hand in the cookie jar first, and then the
And
boy
nothing
goes and
happens
sticks
to
his
him,
hand in the cookie. Yeah, the
and
boy goes and
everything
sticks his hand,
fucked up.
and right in there, right at that moment, mommy walks in and catches the boy. You understand? It's not necessarily that she's the one responsible for it. Like
it's
she
no
didn't
it's
like.
no different. It's no different than me being the middle kid, and or even like this. If you've got younger siblings,
Yeah,
they never did nothing wrong. It was always my damn fault. Or
of
oh no,
course,
let me pat
because we
him
were the
on the
ones always
back.
getting caught.
Yeah, I mean, I remember getting an ass beaten. It was me and my older brother. Now his head is all jacked up because he decided he's going to cut his own damn hair, and and my dad saying, "All right, who cut their hair?" I didn't do it, Daddy. I didn't do it. I remember getting an ass beating for that because he whipped
Yeah,
both of us because nobody would tell. And I'm sitting here thinking, at damn 6 years old, look at his head. That's what I want to say. Look at his nappy ass head. But because I had just had mine cut with the Floby, so we're good.
Oh my God, that's the vacuum attachment.
Yes.
God, yo, they have that out here.
I have conflicting, beliefs in this, where part of me doesn't believe in right and wrong. I sometimes don't think there's a such thing as right and wrong. It's all about perspective.
All right, just a quick segment. I gotta touch up on the whole Adam and Eve shit right after art is done.
And
why don't you keep that for 2 weeks from now?
And it
because 2 weeks from now is Genesis.
And it conflicts with another belief of mine.
I gotta drop this shit now.
That
I'll bring it back up.
Go ahead, Art. Finish up, buddy.
That this whole thing with the beast and God and the devil is just an interdimensional battle between good and evil.
And that's where a lot of people are putting it, is that, using these symbolisms of, once again, it was the Roman Church versus the Christians. Because until 325 AD, Rome was pagan. And,
pagan. See, this is the question I have. Where was I can't think of the name of the state now. Netanyahu. Where was Israel at this time? Was there Israel at this time?
That's going to have to go to a TDN.
And where was Judaism at this time? Because I know Christianity. Judaism is the father of Christianity. That's it was the dominant religion before Christianity. I don't know where that in the pages of history where that falls at with the the Greek and the Roman.
But you also got to understand too, when Rome owned all that.
Yeah, but
a lot of that stuff was suppressed or hidden, just like the Gnostics were.
Uh-huh. So where was Judaism at?
Israel, as we know it, was actually considered.
That was Mesopotamia, wasn't it? Considered Mesopotamia?
Mesopotamia, but in the land that it is, it was considered part of Palestine at the time.
And that was all Muslim, pretty much.
Well, no, Palestine wasn't all Muslim. Palestine was divided 50-50. Hence the reason why the state split, and that's where Israel came from.
And that's also where a lot of the damn fighting, which we're knowing about now, and it even tells in some of the Jewish Bibles and the Quran and everything like that, wasn't it the Muslims that took Israel and burned down the
temple? The very first
temple. Yeah, the first temple. Yeah, and they keep fighting over the land. Muslims say it's their land. Jews say it's their land.
And making a long story short, they're both brothers because their apostles studied under the same guy.
And they're still fighting over it. It's like the what is it, the two people from West Virginia, the two families from West Virginia.
Hatfields and McCoys.
Yeah, this shit's just been going on for 2,000 years. There's a big difference.
They just don't like each other no more, so just fuck it, let them fight.
Yeah, Hatfields and McCoys all started over a damn pig. So come on. But
it's one of those. It's all in perception, man. We could sit here and debate the different interpretations of the Bible across the board. We're all going to disagree because we all have interpretations. We've all done our own. We all have our own studies. We've all been there, been trained by different types of groups. The fact of the matter is, that at the end of the day, can you really say anybody's interpretation is wrong? Because we don't have a real interpretation. I mean, even the King James version of the Bible is not fully the correct interpretation of the original transcripts that were written in Greek and Hebrew. On the scribes, they're not the same.
Well, like you said, we can go on for days and we can argue this point. But what we're going to do is we're going to find a stopping point, because I've got a question for all three of you, and I've got a question for our audience. All these religions that's out here, we've all agreed that we all had the three. We all grew up in some type of a Christian / Baptist, Pentecostal, Jesus Christ aspect of Christianity. And we're told everybody else is wrong. Well, in that religion, they tell you everybody else is wrong. Here's my question. What if we are wrong? What if the true religion is Muslim? What if the true religion is Judaism? What if the true religion is, something that a dude comes out with in his back in the backyard? Who knows? Is there anything really? Was it maybe the Scientologists, that believe that a damn alien came down, and even the one that Mormons, that with dealing with aliens and stuff like that. Who knows? I love some ancient aliens, and they will tell you real quick about some stuff. So I have a question for all of you guys. Did you ever dream of the devil? Yes, I was married to her. Yes. So that's one bitch I wish I could take my rib back. But, even still, and we're going to get into this in 2 weeks, because next week is pharmaceutical companies. We're going to talk about pharmaceutical companies, and then we're going to talk about the Genesis. And I know you guys really don't. I know you, at least Art and Pocket, really don't like the whole Bible conversations.
Lady Nuts will be here.
It's not that I don't. It's not that I don't like them.
You just don't. You don't think they're entertaining.
It's not that I don't like them. It's because of the fact of because of my beliefs, and I kind of like stood, and the way my family was with it, and the people around me was with religion. I kind of stood away from it. It wasn't like there's just bits and pieces of the stories that I find intriguing enough to know about them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know enough to where I can connect dots like you guys can. You understand? Like I just know enough to where like I'm not an idiot. Like at least I know some of it. It's just.
Well, I don't sit here. I don't sit here between streams and say, "Well, hey, I'm gonna." I watch a lot of watch a lot of History Channel and stuff. And if something catches my eye, I'm like, oh, you know
about the Council of Nicaea and the 7 churches in fucking Asia. I don't know nothing about. Like this is the first time. The first time I ever heard Council of Nicaea came from your mouth.
But that's stuff that we're not taught about. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this show is about. Is talking about things that we're not taught.
Yeah, you got to be interested enough to. You got to be interested in enough to know about it. But I find it interesting. I like me sitting here listening to.
Yeah.
I find it interesting.
Robbie, I'm not ignoring you, brother.
Even though I don't know about it, I still put my 2 cents in.
Yeah.
When you come across a subject that.
Because I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in the Genesis one. Because, we're going to talk about Lilith and Adam's first wife. And, and people's going to be like, oh, no, it's Eve, but...
You see, this is... with the whole Adam and Eve thing, like, I really don't believe that Adam and Eve were actual people. I believe Adam and Eve were just the Y and X chromosomes, to be honest.
Hey, that's a good theory. I like that theory. Hey, I like that. So it looks like
because
Uncle Art had to go
ontology.
drain the lizard.
Because if you really just a quick, this is a little sneak preview of what I speak. Because if you really think about it, if you break it down to how the Bible says God created Adam and Eve, correct? Okay, Adam and Eve reproduce, have a baby. Okay, so then they reproduce with each other again, had more kids, reproduce. So now you're getting into the subject of, because if he created Adam and Eve to create all of us, and we're God, and we're all brothers and sisters, and God is our father, then you're saying that incest is okay. But yet in the Bible, it says that it's not. So it's like it's just a contradiction in
Man, I
itself.
love you. I mean, it's no different than when they got off the ark. Supposedly there was
So
there was nobody else around. So where did they
yeah,
go and reproduce?
I believe there's and you know what, and this is, I love the fact that I'm part of this conspiracy theories because of what I've heard, on what you guys speak and everything. Now I know that there is chunks of religious history that we don't know about because it wasn't put into the book that we're all familiar with.
Because they were controlling the media. No different than what
Exactly.
it's no different than what
Exactly.
Hitler did,
What's being
Mussolini
done today.
did, Chow did, and what
So
Obama did.
So that further backs my one of my theories of that Adam and Eve was the Y and X chromosome, because it just makes sense. God created Adam and Eve, Y, X, right? And then over time, I believe that there is a whole book or scripts or manual, whatever, about Adam and Eve somewhere, about what Adam and Eve actually represents. I believe
There,
that it was boiled down into simplicity.
there's more that people don't understand, and that's where the story of Lilith came from. Is there were actually scrolls, manuscripts found that were dated older than those which were supposed to be the original book of Genesis that talked about Adam's previous wife
Yeah,
Lilith.
I just instead of it, I mean, don't take it as I believe. Don't take I'm literal. I mean, God created Adam and Eve. God created the Y chromosome, the X chromosome. God created man and woman. You understand?
Yeah,
Like that. I believe that it's just. I believe Adam and Eve is just another way of saying
it's a
man and
symbolism.
woman. Yeah, symbolism.
It's no different than
See,
the
it all goes
beast
back
that we
around.
talked about with the seven heads and
Exactly.
the
So, but
Nero and everything like that. So, so what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna call it. I say that we were able to really speak about our this conspiracy. I think we did great. We had some viewer interaction with us. So guys, uh, at least and I'll let these guys. Well, I'll let these guys talk first. TDM, what you got planned? I know that you're up here with me this weekend, but any streams or any information you want to put out for tonight?
Um, yeah, so tomorrow is official, my birthday, and at some point during the day, I will be doing a Clash Royale tournament. Um, Stay tuned to find out when. I will be posting that on my Twitter. If you're not following me, TDN underscore. Make sure you hit it up. Make sure you give me that follow. Make sure you turn on the notifications if you like to whoop the shit out of a bunch of people in Clash Royale. I mean, that's how you get into it.
Oh yeah, Mr. Pocket, turn your mic back on, homie.
okay. So
Big Tony,
today's
sit back
Saturday.
relaxing.
All right. Today's Saturday. Tomorrow's Sunday. Well, tomorrow, today, I believe my Patriots won. They're going against the Texans. They suck ass. So I have faith in my team. Then football tomorrow. Next week, I have a series coming out on my YouTube. Next week is me and Titan spoke about this off air along with TDN and Art. I'm going to be moving more towards my YouTube and mostly just streaming Fridays and Saturdays. Um, so I will have a series out for the game, Mobile Legends. I'm doing working on a couple of montages for some couple of characters,
Can
and
you be more specific? Mobile or MOBA?
mobile
Mobile.
mobile Legends Bang
I've
Bang.
already asked that question. It's the mobile one, not MOBA.
Yeah,
Well,
not
that's why
Mobile Legends.
I wasn't here for that conversation. That's why I had to ask for
It
specifics.
was a private conversation me and him had.
Yeah, we were on the phone together. So yeah, it's mobile like device. Mobile Legends Bang Bang. It's a 5v5. It's the closest thing you're gonna come to League of Legends, but it's a lot more simple. It's even simpler than um Vainglory, but still as strategic. Well, if you get your hands on it, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying.
Snow is more like Smite than League of Legends, but it's a complete rip of League of Legends. It's just the controls is why I say Smite.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. It kind of like feels like Smite. You're absolutely.
So
It's
what did I miss?
Pocket Console Gaming
Oh,
is
we
his
wrapping
YouTube.
up.
Yeah. So
So we ain't get into the new Google Amazon store. How you know what I mean? You gotta have your
no,
Amazon account to walk in that bitch to buy shit and walk out.
yeah,
Is that
no.
or the
We didn't get
electronic
it. We didn't get
tattoos
over
that
that.
Hillary be pushing?
No, we didn't get into that.
Oh
Um,
my god.
and we can talk about that off air. But anything you got you want to sum up for this weekend? Anything you're pushing? Anything you're doing that
Me?
you want to promote? Yes, sir.
I would like to say fuck every no. Thank you guys for coming in here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me, Titans. You the man. Make sure y'all drop that follow and go like all of his videos with 5 different accounts to make this man a little bit of money because he be doing a lot. And I appreciate you.
And for me, guys, I will be spending most of my day tomorrow doing video editing for my God of War series that I want to start out on Tuesday with. Videos should be dropping on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So didn't do anything yesterday or today, but I do want to spend tomorrow being able to do that editing. So I do hope that you guys will go and check that out. I do have some announcements that I will probably be announcing this week. Unless you see me on the podcast, you will probably not see me do any personal streaming this week. You know, and I'll relay all that information and everything like that. So just check me out on Twitter. Get that information. Hopefully, I can start dropping some stuff. That God of War series. I got a couple episodes of Titan Brawl. I wanna drop on you guys as well. So, but other than that, just check us out. You know, listen for us. I'll be on other guys' streams, shooting the bull. So, last night, I want to say big shout out to Uncle Art, to Heather, to Rojo, and to Jello for donating and trying to make us throw up last
Did y'all
night.
ever figure who that mystery?
No, we're thinking it was either you or Rojo. We're thinking it was either you or Rojo, and of course, neither one of y'all mugs would say nothing. I want to say it was Rojo, but who knows? But I want to say big shout out to you guys. But
Yeah.
I did learn a lot last night, and so I will, like I said, guys, I will be talking to you guys through Twitter this week, and chilling with you guys. But so just pay attention. All right, so we're good. Anything else you guys want to talk about real quick?
Nah, if you're shutting down, go ahead and shut it down. Anything else, y'all missed this. This is where the conversations really start getting fun. We start talking about bitches and hoes, whole ass bitches.
I hope everybody
and
has a wonderful
drug
night.
dealers. Titans gonna call me a
Bitches with
nigga.
the
I'm gonna call
hoes,
him a
bitches with the
cracker.
hoes.
Like this is where it gets fun at.